Well, hello everyone, I'm Darth Browner, and welcome to the next part of my Ace Attorney Justice for All playthrough. In the previous video, Phoenix reunited with Maya, and the reunion wasn't exactly that touching, as due to a few circumstances, Maya got accused of murdering Dr. Turner Gray, who set up the meeting with Phoenix and Maya. Maya had summoned a spirit from the other world who Turner Gray wanted to confess to malpractice in his clinic from over a year ago. So, with that little summary out the way, and also, Phoenix has got a new ability. He met up with Maya's cousin Pearl and can now see locks on people's hearts. Cyclock gameplay system presents evidence, unlocks secrets. So that's a new part of the investigation phases. But today, Phoenix meets up with Prosecutor Von Karma and begins the first part of the trial of Maya Fey. So let's get on with the show, shall we? What? Prosecutor Von Karma? You mean... No. I heard it's a successor this time. Successor? Manfred Von Karma was a really sinister man. Oh, just a bit, yeah. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks, all so he could win. He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sorts of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts. And now his successor, I wonder what kind of person they will turn out to be. It's no good. Mystic Maya! Pearly, you showed up. Thanks for coming all this way. I was really worried about you. Hey, where's your mother? Did you come together? Mother is watching over the trainees. She said they have training with 2 days straight with no breaks. Huh? Then you came all by yourself? Yep, I snuck out of the manor and followed them up. Don't tell me you walked all the way here. Of course not, I ran. I can't, oh my. It takes 2 hours by train, oh man. Pearly, what about the train? Huh? What's a train? I give up. It's time, isn't it? I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? At least I know Mr. Edgeworth be nice to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth? Who is that? He's Nick's rival, but he's also a friend. I still remember him as though I'd seen him only yesterday. Every trial was a scorchingly fierce battle until the very end. It was always back and forth with them, but when you're rivals for life... Maya, please don't mention that name ever again. Huh? But why, Nick? I'm sorry, Maya, I forgot you don't know. He's gone, and he's not coming back. What? Wait a second, what's that supposed to mean? Court will commence shortly. Please proceed into the courtroom. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway. Nick. Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and defense prepared? Well, hello. What is with this kid? Mr. Wright, are you prepared? Huh? Yes, Your Honour. Why does he always seem mad at me? Mr. Phoenix Wright. You must be a little shocked because I'm a woman, correct? Hold on, so she's the famed successor of Prosecutor Von Karma? I am Franziska Von Karma, the prodigy. I see. I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge. And she's got a whip. Revenge? Is this about her father, Manfred Von Karma? If it's something of a personal nature, I'm sure you can... Ow! I'm talking. If you interrupt again, my whip will do the speaking for me. Please speak with your mouth like a normal person. I beg of you. Ow! Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Prosecutor Von Karma, your opening statement, please. Those of Von Karma blood have only one fate, and that is perfection. The defendant, Maya Fey, will find no escape from her guilt on my watch. Very well. What is the defence's position? Your Honour? Does the defence wish to enter a plea of not guilty? Yes. Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes. I'll give the defence 10 minutes before it changes its plea. That's right. I'll have you running for the justified self-defence plea in no time. Justified self-defence? A plea usually reserved to when a person unintentionally kills in defence of themselves. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defence, but... Defence stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honour, because to plead justified self-defence is to say you did kill someone. How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall now call the first witness. She's just as scary as her father, like daughter, I suppose. Witness, your name and occupation. Yes, sir. My name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at the local precinct. Ah! Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder. Yes, sir. If everyone would please look at this map. The channeling chamber has no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and defendant were in the room. What were they doing in there? They were channeling a spirit, sir. Channeling a spirit? It's quite the look of disbelief there, Your Honour. Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room. Alright, that's when they found that the victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I've ever presided over. So, how was the victim killed? Well, I was just about to get to that. Stop wasting my time then. Direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. Shot was fired from point-blank range, but before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. Murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. So the victim was stabbed before being shot. This is the victim's autopsy report, sir. Court accepts this into evidence. Mr. Wright, you may now question the witness. Are you sure you were stabbed first, then shot? Yep, as sure can be. One look at the wounds then, you come to the same conclusion too. A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter then which was first? Think a little more before you open that big mouth of yours, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What a pain. That's enough. We have clearly established how the victim was murdered. I brought the two murder weapons with me today. Very well. The court accepts them into evidence. The date and time of death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time.
And 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them, huh? This does seem like an open and shut case.
Naturally. This is going from bad to worse. As if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme. Your Honour, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there is no room left for doubt, is there?
That is quite true, Mr. Wright.
Yes?
Even in the face of all this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose.
See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you would change your plea in less than 10 minutes.
What will you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change to justified self-defense? Because now will be the time to do so. This is your final chance.
It's a huge decision, I better think this through all the way. If we plead justified self-defense, we would basically be confessing to the murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be ruined, and she'd be labelled a murderer. Can't let that happen. Your Honour,
have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright?
Defence will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of complete acquittal. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective?
Yes, sir?
Present the final portion of your testimony, the final strike.
Yes, sir. Now, see here, procedures are run by... Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead, detective, and give your testimony.
I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence. Sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. Defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, not fighting back.
So this is the costume. Certainly is evidence of a back spray of blood on this.
This piece directly links Maya Fay to the crime, sir.
This court accepts this into evidence. Alright, Mr. Wright.
I think Maya's fingerprints on both murder weapons and blood and splatters on the clothes. Could this situation get any worse? So what's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think it's the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Please stop calling her full name, it's disturbing. This blood on the costume. Lab results show that it is the victim's blood.
So there is blood for the victim on the defendant's clothes.
Definitely not good. So were there any other clues you could glean from this piece of evidence? Well... If you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad, not enough time, let's move on.
Oh yes, Mr. Von Karma is perfectly correct.
Even the judge is on their side. If I bite off more than I can chew here, what should I do? Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. There must be something about this costume. I just have to look harder.
Mr. Wright, Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There's no way for you to poke a hole in it.
Looks like my time is up. It's about that costume. Your Honour, actually there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence.
What?
What are you talking about, pal?
Where is this problem you are talking about?
I've come this far, there's no turning back now. The problem I have with this piece of evidence is here. I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of the costume.
The sleeve? There's a tiny hole here.
A hole? But that wasn't in the report.
Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder.
Gunpowder? No one ever told me.
Hole that smells of gunpowder?
Looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Great pun. Your Honour, the only logical conclusion you can make is that it must be a bullet hole.
Order, order, order. This is a very grave matter. Best we correct the court record first before anything else.
Sorry about that. I guess we messed up, sir. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke. Nothing more. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight.
Whatever it is, a mistake on the part of the police. What Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true. Evidence still stands. If you cannot find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then...
No way.
Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think we found a little contradiction. Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes?
But you call me by my full name. It's kind of with a weird feeling.
You said that my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back.
Yeah, I did.
Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlooked supposed to mean?
What does it mean?
I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is this what it means to not fight back?
Ah, you're right. Seems you're correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything.
Alright, now the wind seems to be shifting. Ha! What's that "are you finished yet" laugh? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix, right?
Miss Von Karma.
It seems that Maya Fey was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea.
That is correct.
But I'm sure you remember, Your Honour, what the defence clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty.
Now that you... Well, that's right.
Which means the defence has yet to prove anything at all. No.
Well, yes, that's true.
Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of self-defense.
How so?
Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course.
What, you mean by myself? You want me to put together a scenario all by myself?
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. During the channeling, the defendant saw a chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening and took the victim's gun and ended it.
The scenario you have put together does make sense.
Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, on the surface it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give it that easily.
Please refrain from going at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please.
Missing the tiny hole in this costume will be the prosecutor's own doing.
Hey, what do you mean?
This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on this costume? Gunpowder burn? This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh! But there is not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume.
No, it's a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How was that? As if that was even possible. According to testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Well then. That's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. Then while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you.
That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright?
I must be careful, I can't afford to make a mistake here. There is a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honour. Fatal?
Flaw?
Yeah. Very interesting. I'd love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts this line of thinking. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic.
What is that? A folding screen?
I'd like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. Looks like you already know what I'm talking about.
Ooh, where, when, what? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please.
Are these two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. Passed through a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means... when the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low on the ground.
Order! Look, this changes everything.
Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot, and the bullet hit this folding screen. If it hit at this location, about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area, near the folding screen. Wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole, but how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? That's impossible. But why? You of all people should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If she was shot from somewhere closer, there'd be gunpowder burns present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume. Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you!
I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing away from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation?
Honestly, Your Honour, this changes everything. Prosecution has claimed the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with a knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at that time? Squatting all the way by the phone screen. Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike?
On further consideration, it does make very little sense.
Yeah, I figure there had to be a reason. Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Ooh. Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the blast radius of disaster. You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. Of all the things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile? Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic? Well, how is it all my fault? You start repairing your standing by first removing the 3-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured your punishment will come later. Punishment? Well then, Your Honour, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? That's got to be Lotta. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness. That was a close one. I know you're giving it your all to defend me. I could feel the death penalty hanging in the air. I felt like I was pretty close to dying myself.
But you were wonderful out there. You listened carefully, you made theories, and tricked everyone into believing you.
Thanks. Wait, tricked?
That must be the lawyer's secret technique, right?
By the way, is the next witness who I think it is? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Lotta Hart. Guess there's no escaping her, huh? Remember, Nick, you promised you'd save me. If you lose me and my sister's ghost will come after you and haunt you.
Your sister? Are you talking about Mystic Mia?
Yeah, do you remember her, Pearlie? My sister was a super good lawyer. She was also Nick's teacher.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Court will now reconvene. Now, the first order of... Ow! I don't want to hear it, old man. After I call my witness, sit there quietly and watch like a good little boy. Yes, sir. Bring in the photographer who witnessed the channeling. Witness, your name and occupation, if you please. Hey, Phineas, how you doing? Just fine. Sorry about this, didn't exactly have a choice, you know. Yowza! Name and occupation. I declare what in tarnation? Hey, Judge, this here is a violence against my fellow self. That's fine. That's fine? That ain't fine, that's a whip. Ah! There's no need for foolish outcries from foolishly foolish fools. Just hurry up and testify about what happened on the day of the murder. I haven't gotten to say my name and job yet. Name's Lotta Hart, paranormal photographer, and I'm here to testify. Now, let's all be one big happy family, okay? Only the dark-eyed defendant went into the channeling chamber. We were waiting outside the door and then bang! We hear this gunshot. Mr. Light there brought the door down and we rushed into the room. Inside was the dead victim and defendant waving a pistol around. I swear, other than those two, there was no one else in that room. And did you take a picture of the scene right after the murder took place? Reckon cars? Hey, excuse me? Reckon cars is short for you reckon? Of course I did. Ah! Does it look like I care? Just hurry up and show your picture to the court. The moment of truth. What will be in that picture? Let's see here. Here's the picture. It would certainly seem that the only defendant and the victim were in that room. Are you ready, Mr. Phoenix, right? I'll clear all doubt about Maya through this cross-examination. Just watch me. Are you sure it was the defendant Maya Fey? Sure, I'm sure. Lotta seems awfully confident in her testimony. Lotta, please think back to that day one more time. What are you getting at? And what you said when we broke into that room. I was murdered. Lotta, at a time like this? Damn, like this a bit of a snapping of shots. Anyway, what's going on here? This girl, is she Maya? When you saw the murder at that time, you couldn't even tell if it was Maya Fey or not, am I correct? Well, yes, see. Order, Miss Hart, you are here to present accurate testimony. Yeah, sorry. Good, this shifts things back to my side. For a defence lawyer, your defence is terribly lacking, Mr. Phoenix, right? Witness, think back to when those two entered the channeling chamber. When they entered, one of those people that entered the chamber was Maya Fey, correct? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was Maya that went in. It looks like we've come to a collective conclusion. The person in this picture is most certainly Maya Fey. Exactly. Rats on track like one again. Are you absolutely certain of that? Sure I am, but that old witch chases out of the room, so... Old witch? Does she mean Morgan Fay? There was no one else in there, and you know it. Shining chamber was very dark, almost pitch black. So really no one else in there? What about... Fair enough. It seems that there are no issues with Miss Hart's testimony. At the time of the crime, only 2 people were in the channeling chamber. The victim, Dr. Turner Gray, and the defendant, Maya Fay. The face of the defendant cannot be verified in this picture. However, if you think about the circumstances, it would have to be the defendant. What am I going to do? If I just let this go? What is it, Mr. Wright? You look as if you have something to say. If I make one wrong move, I'm going to have the judge against me. Is there anything I can present that will prove it's not mine, this photo? Well, Mr. Wright, nothing, Your Honour. That's very smart of you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You really should give up trying to prove that this is not my affair. I didn't say anything about giving up. I just don't have the right piece of evidence to prove my argument. That's enough. Is this it? Is this all I could do? I think it's quite obvious to help of this court that a verdict of not guilty is not possible. I told you, totally 100% impossible. Ms. Von Karma, do you have any further questions for the witness? Having established the defendant's guilt, further questioning won't be needed. What about the defence? No further questions, I presume? I couldn't protect Maya. The defence. Phoenix, you can't make that kind of face. Although it is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Mia? Whoa! I guess I made it just in time, wouldn't you say? But Pearls? Her clothes are a bit small. Anyway, what are you waiting for, Phoenix? Let's go. But she's already taken away every advantage. The advantage is still in your hand. Think carefully one more time about what you saw in the channeling chamber. Do you remember what you told me yesterday? Dr. Gray? I was murdered. What? Not at a time like this. Times like this are perfect for snapping up shots. You see, there is one final piece to this puzzle. Mia, question Lotta one more time, Phoenix. I don't know if she's doing it unconsciously or on purpose, but she's not testifying truthfully. Now then, this court would like to end the cross-examination period. Please wait, Your Honour. Defence would like to request that the witness testify one more time. Overruled. I'm afraid you're too late, Mr. Wright. Cross-examination is already ended. Furthermore, it's fine. I'll allow another testimony. Von Karma's case is perfect. Absolutely flawless. And what better time than this for you to see that? But I mean, I have some place I must go after this. Alright, I'll allow it. Ms. Hart, hurry up, give us another testimony. Well, hey, what am I supposed to talk about? Please tell us once more what happened when you burst into the channeling chamber. Okay, you got it. See, you got through to the judge somehow, right? Well, actually, it was Von Karma's whip that got through to him. When we broke into that room, all I could focus on was mine. I was kind of scared of dead bodies, so I didn't take a good look at it. I'm really bad when it comes to blood and ghosts and stuff, but I still managed to pop my camera up mine and take a shot. Nothing sounds different from before. Some parts of the test were very vague. Struggle all you like as you taste the bitterness of your defeat. Well, amuse me with your useless questions, Mr. Phoenix, right? Two, right? Two what? 2 shots. You took 2 shots. But only one has been submitted as evidence. Miss Hart, where is the other picture you've been withholding? No, you got it all wrong. That's not me. I didn't mean anything better. I know I can be a little mean, but I ain't evil. Well, at least she knows herself. Then why have you not shown this other picture to the court yet? Well, ain't obvious. That prosecutor woman told me to shut my trap about it. What? Von Karma. Miss Von Karma, you're hiding critical evidence? Unforgivable, Von Karma. Suppressing evidence like this. You're as bad as your father. I'm so mad that even my throat's clenching up. I better let the judge handle this. Miss Von Karma, would you care to explain yourself to this court? I thought this picture was not important and thus felt no need to submit it. That's all. How could you think? Pictures were more or less the same, so why bother with the second? I mean, it's just so much more trouble than it's worth for me to submit this as evidence. More trouble than it's worth? How can you say that? If you want to see it that badly, I'll submit it. What is this picture? It's obviously the second picture the witness took that day at the scene of the crime. There's a little centre, but that's what you get with a nervous amateur. I think the important point here is the person in this picture. That is most definitely not my affair. What is the meaning of this? This might be the break I was looking for. Now, should I or should I not insist that the person in this picture is not mine? Your Honour, as you can plainly see, the person in this picture is not my affair. Yes, I see that. Not just her face, her whole body has taken on a different appearance. There's only one conclusion that can be drawn then. That somehow this other person snuck in and traded places with the defendant. Order! Well, yes, I believe you are correct, Mr. Wright. The person who was inside the channeling chamber was not my affair. Mia, we did it. You're too soft. Huh? You're softer than Aunt Morgan's strawberry desserts, Phoenix. Take a look at Prosecutor Von Karma's face. She's smiling? I think you better continue to worry, Mr. Phoenix, right? Miss Von Karma, what do you mean by that? Your Honour, I would like for you to take a look at this picture. Naughty Von Karma. This was taken yesterday at the detention centre's visitors room. This is Mr. Phoenix Wright and the defendant, Maya Fay, during his visit. Maya Fay? But isn't this a totally different person? She looks this way because she is obviously in the middle of channeling a spirit. It's unbelievable that she could... Yet it is the truth. When Maya Fay is in that state, she physically changes into the person she's calling. Miss Von Karma, a word, if I may? Mia? Taking pictures of someone during a private visit is illegal. Surely you must know that the picture can't be submitted as evidence. Obviously, I know this picture is illegal. I never intended to submit it as evidence in the first place. What is she? From the moment I showed this picture to the court, the case became all mine. After all, this image has now forever been burned into the judge's mind. I don't have even a single witty line. Looks like we've been hurt. I don't claim to understand this, and I still cannot believe it. Are you saying that this person is defendant Maya Fey? If I give up here, the trial will end. But if I slip up and say something wrong, it'll cost me. Is there any way I can prove that the pictures in the picture is not Maya? Your Honour, the fire returned your eyes, I see. This picture. In this picture lies a critical contradiction to all the testimony up until now. A contradiction? So you think that you've spotted a problem with this picture? Then earn your keep. I think I know what it is. Please direct your attention here to the sleeve, but there isn't anything odd about it. And that is exactly what is so odd. Something that should be there is suddenly missing. Should be there? Ah! There is a bullet hole in the sleeve of the defendant's costume. If that's the case, it should be in his picture as well. Mr. Von Karma, you intended to hide this valuable piece of evidence? You will most certainly be assigned a penalty for this. Alright, this should do some major damage to our argument. Don't celebrate yet. You have to bring down the mood, don't you? Take a look at Miss Von Karma's face. Oh, she's got that condescending grin plastered all over her face again. Jumping again, I see, Your Honour. I would like to extend an apology on behalf of those incompetent fools. What do you mean, what incompetent fools? If those fools down at the precinct hadn't missed the bullet hole, I would have gotten a report about it. As I didn't, I could not have known that this picture was of any value to this case. Oh, I see. She's lying for her teeth, I know it. That woman knew about everything, the bullet hole, the picture, everything. But you can't prove that. Franziska Von Karma's idea of a perfect case is quite fascinating, don't you think? Your Honour, you need not worry. If you must assign a penalty, I'll personally make sure that detective gets what's coming. I'm sure there'll be a great gnashing of teeth at his next salary discussion. Poor gumshoe. In any case, it's a very big problem. When the defendant was taken into custody, her costume had a bullet hole in its sleeve. However, from this photo, it would appear that right after the shooting, there was none. The judge is confused by this strange twist of events. This is your chance, Phoenix. Load all you got into this one shot, alright? Got it. Watch this, Maya. Your Honour, there is only one logical explanation for this contradiction. The defendant's sleeve had a bullet hole in it. However, this person's clearly does not. There can only be one explanation. The person who shot Dr. Gray was not the defendant, but a different person altogether. What? Order, order, order. If order is not restored, I will suspend this trial. Ow, why me? The defense's argument is a complete mess. A complete mess? I fail to see how. Please enlighten us. Hey, witness. What the heck? Is that any way to ask a gal a favour? Be quiet, you. You were the one who said it was only the two of them when you entered the room. Well, yeah, no. If you lie, I swear that my whip will be the last thing you see. Look, sissy, you're looking mighty scary, so why don't we say you? I swear I wasn't lying or nothing. There was no one else in there, honest. You see, now riddle me this, Mr. Phoenix, right? Where did the defendant vanish to? And where did this other woman appear from? Why is it lately all I want to do is cry? Well, if the person in this picture is not the defendant, then this poses two very big questions. First, where did the defendant vanish to? And second, where did this person come from? That's right. Hurry up and answer, Mr. Phoenix, right? Come on, you can't fall apart here, Phoenix, right? I can't believe that even me is calling me by my full name. But, I mean, how am I supposed to prove something like this? Had enough yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Or do you think you have something enough in you to turn things around even now? To turn things around? That's right, Mia would always turn things around and change the perspective. Phoenix? So where did this intruder appear from, and where did Maya disappear to? I need to look at this situation from a different angle. See, what if before we broke in the third person was already in the room? And what if Maya had left the room somehow? If I could prove that either one of those conditions was true... Mr. Wright, let's hear what you come up with. I think what happened before we forced our way into the challenging chamber is... Your Honour, I'd like to present some evidence. I prove there was someone else in here before the... Miss Hart, do you remember this key? Well, I've seen it. Hey, that's the challenge chamber key, right? Before the challenge chamber started, Maya locked the door from the inside with it. The defendant herself locked the door? Yeah, that's why we all couldn't get the door open. The key's the only one of a kind after all. Oh, one of a kind, you say? Wait, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Yes, it looks like she's catching on. Afraid to ask, but why is that key currently in your possession? What do you mean? If Maya Fey locked herself in, then the key should have been with her. Yes, agreed. However, she did not have the key at the time of her arrest. Ah, well, ain't that a kid? So how come you're holding it? I got this as a present from a certain little girl. And that little girl was nowhere near the crime scene at the time. That's preposterous. This means that Maya Fey must have left the room. If she had not, then I would not be holding this key you see before you. No. It seems we have come to an impasse. This picture has clearly captured the face of the murderer. However, is this person the defendant or not? The defense is arguing that this person is not the defendant. Furthermore, as proof, this key has been submitted as evidence. Ms. Von Karma, how can this be? At this point in time, a verdict on the defendant's guilt is not possible. My perfect case. How is there a flaw in my perfect case? Don't think you've won yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm a prodigy. I've never lost a case. I don't intend to lose here in this courtroom to a fool like you. I don't care what I have to do. I'll get my guilty verdict. That's enough. If you'd like to continue, do so in the lobby. Court will reconvene tomorrow at 10 AM. That's all. Court is adjourned. Wow. That was you, Pearly? You summoned my sis? Yes, I felt I had no choice. Great going, Pearly. I knew you were special. Hey, Nick, did you know? Yeah, it's not like anyone else in there could have done that. Nick, I know you're trying really hard and all, but I really don't remember ever leaving that room. I don't think that a third person could have gone into that room. Yeah. Well, at least we have until tomorrow to figure things out. Like what happened in that room, for instance. Yeah, I'm counting on you. Oh, I envy the two of you. Oh, by the way, Nick, do you think you could take Pearly back home for me? Sure. Alright, Pearls, you ready to go buy some tickets? A ticket? Poor thing, so sheltered. And that brings us to the end of today's video. And what a corker that was. This has been Darth Brandon. Thank you so much for watching. So the next video is back to Fae Manor, where we find out some more revelations. Don't forget to give us a like and hit that subscribe button. See you on the next video. Au revoir, my friends.